Greetings and God bless. So I was just typing to an online friend, hey, German videos, and I just wanted to elaborate about something. So it seems like there's a lot more malignant narcissists, like possessed people, demonically possessed people out there, along with people who are already just simply fallen people. They just are caught up in their own negativity, their own flesh, their own desires, their own problems. And then there's people who are compelled by the world. So the world is like, hey, buy this drug, or betray this your wife, whatever, betray whoever, your coworker. Um, so there's the flesh, the world, and then there's Satan. And Satan is ruler of the world. So I think even though, like the one time I've had a conversation with the pastor's wife about this, it seemed like she thought it was more just our human flesh. But I really feel like Satan is really at the root of all of this. So something I find, and here in Rapid City, so there's a large homeless Native population, homeless First Nations population, and so as I've got mentioned in my videos before, there's a lot of racism here, but it's not what you think. It's not white people, doing, hi, we're gonna lynch some people. It's the First Nations people hate white people's guts, and I have lived where there's First Nations people in Montana and Alaska, but Rapid City takes the cake for racism. And somebody who's a comedian needs to do a skit about how just the racism, the the just the race rape that people of color will do to white people, and that white people will take. So there's this compensatory entitlement of malignant narcissists, psychopaths who happen to be people of color. So they totally are using their status, their whatever, to abuse. White people are their target, and passive, quiet, shy, loner white people. Oh, but that's not what this video is about. I'm just saying that's been my experience. And so recently, yesterday I was handing out a Bible tract, and I really like, it's called the Little Bible, and I showed you one yesterday, but it's from the Little Bible Ministry. And so this guy was telling me, it's just every time I have an extended conversation with a First Nations person on the sidewalk, it becomes this obscene, disgraceful rape. And so I give this lady a Bible tract, and then this guy, this big old First Nations guy, he's like, "Oh, come over here, and well, this is what happened to Jesus. John the Baptist hollered at Jesus and said, 'Get over here!' And he dunked him in the water and dunked him, and he had snot coming out." Right. So this is the God of God, the King above all other kings, the names and everything. This is the creator of the universe. He's not going to be assaulted by somebody. He's not even going to have snot dripping out of his nose. And so this native guy just, and he put me through this, like, I don't know, 10 minutes, right? And this and he's trying to justify himself, and I really didn't know what to think at the moment. So and the thing is, like, I've encountered white people from other countries who are like, well, you have to pay the price for what's been done to the First Nations people. And I have a black former black friend who's like, well, you deserve to experience racism, you know. And then they try to take it back, like when you bring it up. Um, so and so there's this stupidity in progressive liberals or something like that, assuming that only white people are bad, that only white people do anything, only white people have participated in discrimination, abuse, workplace negligence, spouse abuse, child abuse. Only white people. Black people never kill anybody. Black people never are responsible for any of the car crashes. Black people never use guns improperly. Black people are always nice. Black people are always uplifting, or Native people, or Latino people, or Asian people. They're always good. And black and white people are always bad. White people have always done everything wrong. That's the mentality. And my progressive liberal friends will say, yes, that's true. White people are the only rapists. White people are the only pedophiles. Now, I know people who've told me that, people of color who've told me of their experiences with family members who were people of color. But somehow we're not supposed to talk about this. Like, how are we going to have a civilization when there's this utterly diluted uh, discussion going on? And if I really corner somebody who progressive liberal, they'll say, well, of course, but of course, not all black people are completely perfect, and you know but there's this weird overall cultural thing going on, this idealization. All homosexuals are good and honest and trustworthy and safe for little children to be around naked, or trans people or something like that. Right? So I know I probably, YouTube is probably going to have a question, but let me know, is that the case? Because that's the sense I get from people who are pushing certain agendas. So humans are human, and just because somebody has a skin color or an orientation, or they're a PETA activist, that doesn't necessarily mean they're a good person. And that is what I have found in the world of where people are doing. They have a job where they're doing some sort of social justice thing, or they're working for the homeless or the drug addict or the whatever. They're doing some type of good works kind of a thing. And so they have this job, and it's like they think it makes them a good person, but you're only a good person when you do good things consistently and not for show. So there's people who there's people who are like body workers, and there's people who are like body workers who don't like. How did they, that's what I've noticed in the past, like 20 years or 10 years or something. Like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, people who were into energy work and body work, it really meant something. It resonated to them. But now it's cool, it's credible. And so all these posers, all these people who don't even really mean it, like who maybe have had one epiphany or something like that, but it's not really who they are. Like they really shouldn't be doing body work or energy work or counseling or something like that. But that's what they're doing, and that's their career, and they get this kind of credibility, but they really should be an accountant. They should be doing like corrupt financial transactions or something like that, because that's just their 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 way of being, because when you're in the healing world, like healing it, what is healing? Is healing being a malignant narcissist? Is healing always having a temper tantrum and ruining other people's contribution to the community? No. But there are malignant narcissists. There's psychopaths who are healers. And it has come up, like every once in a while you hear some sort of scandal at some school or something like that, where there's corruption or something. Um, so that does happen, but I just notice more people who are in like the healing arts. They don't really mean it. They've just taken classes, paid the money, gotten a credential, and they may know some stuff, but they don't really live it. And 20, 30 years ago, people, they were in it, and just I don't know how best to describe it. But yeah, so back to that First Nations guy who was like just doing his mind rape, and then he asked me for money, always asking for money. And I, like there's like I don't know if I think it's demonic. I think I was talking to a pastor yesterday, and he was saying there's a large witches coven here in Rapid, and I'm like, whoa, thank you for saying that, because there's so much dark spiritual oppression in Rapid. It is the worst place I have ever lived in my life, and I meet people who love it, and I don't understand. Maybe they are more in touch with Jesus Christ than me, or maybe they've just got better opportunities, and so the oppression is less strong, or maybe they are just all up in the witchcraft and stuff like that. I don't know, but so that these random encounters I have with the First Nations people, that they're just pretty disappointing to outright like mind rape. And the guy probably thought he was funny. The guy probably thought wasting 10 minutes of my time was no problem. I don't like hanging out with a horrible stranger. I don't like it. I find it abusive. And I really should have just left. And he would have been like, oh, that white person, disrespectful white person. And the thing is, in this dynamic, this insane dynamic, the only person, even though somebody of color is abusing a white person, the only person that can do anything wrong in our current mindset is the white person. So the white person is just supposed to subject themselves to abuse and abuse and abuse and abuse. And right, YouTube, right? But it's not right. But I'm sure there's a lot of white progressive liberals that completely don't understand what I'm saying. I think there might be a minority that do understand, but won't stand up for me. That won't say, yeah, that's not right. And when you're a coward, especially in times like this, it's there's going to be a consequence, because this is the decline of not only civilization but humanity. And I'm pretty sure we're at the end of civilization and humanity, literally humanity, because of this genetic modification injection. And this genetic modification injection, not only is it altering human DNA, but when people are get that injection. They are shedding. They are kind of they're transmitting this virus, or this, this they're transmitting this nanotechnology. And what do you do when you're shedding? When you're shedding little bits of skin, where is it going? It's going around you, right? It's going on your floor. It's going on your shoes. You go out walking in the park. Where's the shedding going? It's going out in nature, right? And when you're going to the bathroom, where is that waste going? That's going in the sewage treatment plant, which I think now we just drink our sewage now. They just clean it and we drink our wastewater. And so it's going to be in the environment. So it's spreading everywhere. I lost my train of thought. Well, being that I lost my train of thought, I think I'll just wrap up for now. But I just wanted to say, this toxic double standard, and all double standards, all double standards are toxic, but it's not right. And it's not about, like, skin color does not make right. What's right is what we understand as a mutual reciprocal interaction. No one person has more power than the other. And it's bizarre that we're in that situation now, and that the people who have leverage aren't doing much. I mean, of course there's some doctors and people attending events, but it's amazing how passive Americans are. I was watching a podcast, and somebody was pointing out how in other countries everybody's out in the streets. In America, no, everybody's watching Netflix and playing video games and ignoring what's going on. What's that? How's that going to work for them? So we just get to pray for God to return soon. And I want to remind folks to pray for the bad things. Pray, thank you, Lord, for that everybody's asleep. Thank you for these mind rapists everywhere. I know, Almighty God, you're going to turn it for good. So thank you for these experiences. And I pray for strength to get through, and wisdom to know how to navigate it best. So God bless.